Hello everybody and welcome to the review of set 9467 of the Monster Fighters theme from 2012. This set retailed for £60, $80 or €80, and it includes 741 pieces, and we have 5 minifigures here. But before I'm going to review them, a short disclaimer that this set is not 100% complete, so we have some minor missing parts and I will point them out as we go along in that review. But now let's start with the minifigures. Frank Rock, member of the Monster Fighters. He has a very nice torso print with this armless leather jacket and some knee pads on the legs, so pretty good printings here. And the hair reminds me of Elvis all the time. That is an excellent hairpiece, and he has the very cool looking shades, but also an alternate face without the shades. So here we have Ann Lee, member of the Monster Fighters, and she has an excellent torso. I really like that print there of this sort of Victorian era style dress, connected with some excellent leg printing. We have some garlic there to defend herself from the vampires in the monster realm, and just very nice details. I really like that hairpiece also. That fits perfectly to this character. She has tucked an arrow for her crossbow in there, and she has an alternative face as well, which is a bit more angry, and both faces have a scar on the left eye. And pretty good, pretty solid minifig. And here we have one of 3 identical ghosts in this set, so not a lot to tell here. We have, white legs, a white torso, and then the ghost part, which goes above that. That was new back then. There is also an older version of that, and that one is, it's just a lot more spookier compared to the old one, because we have the more spooky face, and that's pretty it about this ghost. Of course, it glows in the dark, which looks pretty cool in my opinion. And now moving on to the airplane in this set, which is fantastic in my opinion. I really like those 1910s, 1920s style airplanes, and I think they have captured that design here pretty well. I love the color scheme of dark bluish gray and dark red. They have used this color scheme quite a couple of times in the past in all kinds of Lego sets, and I think that is a beautiful combination of colors. Dark red and dark bluish gray just works really, really well together. We have the revolvers as exhaust pipes. Again, we have had that in Major Quinton Steele's car already. We've got the propeller there, and we have, Ann Lee and Frank Rock, of course. Sadly, no second seat for Miss Ann Lee. She just has this light bluish gray chain there to hold on to, and try to catch the moonstone, the ghost moonstone from the train there. And we have those huge Hoover hoses. Those hoses which are supposed to suck the ghosts into this huge barrel back there. That is how that is supposed to work, I guess. And that is where you can see that there are some parts missing. So back there we have this dome piece and tan piece, and it's missing over there, and we have one missile here and no second there, and no third and no fourth there. So no missile with this plane. So that is it for this plane, really. I would have loved if there would be an action feature, a possibility to actually store the ghosts in here, because that is just not enough space to put a ghost inside. So that would have been really great, but you get the idea of this plane. You get the whole purpose, what this is supposed to represent. And now moving on to the Ghost Train itself. That is the largest vehicle in the entire Monster Fighters theme. But as you can see, it is not a real train. So we have the real train wheels with the engine here, with the locomotive engine. They would run on regular Lego tracks, but I've tried to do that and they run fine on straights. But if you want to use curves, if you want to, well, push it through a curve, that will derail because there's just too much space between the wheels. So that won't work without any modifications. And these other wheels are no train wheels. As you can see, they are these rubber wheels, and that just doesn't work, obviously. You could modify this pretty easily by just replacing those wheels with actual train wheels and, you know, modifying the locomotive itself, but I am fine with that. That is supposed to be a play set, and a Ghost Train doesn't run on regular tracks, at least as I imagine that. And on the other hand, you can modify that pretty easily. The only thing that I think could have been done better here is the second card here. So this card, as you can see, is the same as the last one. So instead of having two copies of that same, two versions of this card, I would have preferred if they would have included a tender here, because that just makes a lot more sense with the locomotive engine there. I like this prisoner card here, so you can open that up and then you can have one of the Monster Fighters in there, or even both of them as prisoner, and then you just close it back up and that's it. They are locked inside, so that is a nice feature. We have the bell here at the front, which, well, moves a little. Obviously no sound. We have the Ghost Moonstone up there, which we're going to review in a second, and that is really it almost for the play features here. There is another one, but first I'm going to show you how that looks in the dark. And that looks really, really nice. I have to admit that, especially the face there on that 4x4 dish, that looks pretty nice and spooky. And then we have some more glow in the dark elements. The ghosts are glowing in the dark. We have some glow in the dark cones, and well, that just makes this set very, very spooky and gives it a nice touch. A nice touch, I have to admit that. So all in all, I think that is a pretty decent set. However, I think that $80 is too much. Even back then, or especially back then in 2012, $80 for what you get here just feels like too much. I mean, the train itself, just the train, is at 40 for me, because it's not a real train. It looks nice, but it's around, well, let's calculate this. 20 for the engine, for the steam engine itself, then somewhere between 5 and 10 for each of the small cars, 10 for this one, maybe 15. So we are at like 40, 45-ish. And then the plane itself is just not worth, what are we talking here? $35 with minifigures? No. That is way too much. So 60 would be alright. I paid less. I paid about 40, but it was not complete. I paid 40 for the train, and the airplane was in this huge bulk haul already, so I paid around 40 for the train, which I think is alright, given that this is incredibly wanted right now, because, well, used, it is at around $100 nowadays. So 60 would have been a fair price in my opinion, and 80 is just too much. I think it's a solid set, but it's not my favorite because, well, you can't do that much with it actually. I mean, I think it works okay as a playset. It works nice as a display model, no doubt about that. But yeah, 60 would have been a lot better. Nowadays we don't have to talk about that really because, well, the secondary market is doing its thing. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this set and the price. So not my favorite. It's a decent one, but just not my favorite. But now let me know what you think about this set in the comments down below. Maybe this is your favorite set of all times. So I am open to hearing and reading your opinions on this. So I'm looking forward to start the discussion in the comments down below. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I see you in the next video. Bye.